Here we go.
I'm good right here.
That's not this type of show. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. My mighty group there. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the show. Happy. What is today? Tuesday? Tuesday. Thank you. It is the most productive day of the week, and we're going to try to make it productive. 3 out of 4 dentists say it's the most productive day of the week. We're going to try to be productive. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to my good friend, Shayne Wells. Hello, Shayne.
Hello.
You look stunningly beautiful today.
Wow.
You look fantastic.
You. Oh, are you guys gonna match me in the background here?
Yeah, look at that. No, you look fantastic.
Thank you. That's
what's your secret? I mean, you gave your secret to your curly hair a few weeks ago.
My husband's car broke down today, so this is me trying to hide stress.
Really?
See, thank you for that. I needed that.
Yeah, you do. You would never tell that. You are a bucket of stress. You look amazing.
Thank you. We'll wait till after the show to stress out.
There is nothing worse, especially in the winter. I remember when I first moved here. I moved here in 1997. I was 22 years old. I didn't know a single person here. I don't think I've told this version of the story, but on the show. But I lived at home. I went back to home to help my mom. I'm an only child, and I'm a mama's boy. I'm a guy that loves his mom. I went to help my mom for a year. And got sick of that. You're 22 years old, time to move out. And I remember that one of my professors said that Minneapolis was a good TV market. I woke up one day, not kidding you. This is serendipity at its best. Woke up, sat down, turned on the TV, and what was the first commercial I saw? An Explore Minnesota commercial. Yeah, and I went, oh. And I'm not kidding. I picked up the phone that day. I called my friend Candace, and I said, what are you doing this weekend? And she said, nothing. I go, you're coming with me to look for an apartment in Minneapolis. And she goes, an apartment for who? And I said, me. And then I moved here 4 months later, not knowing a single person. So the story with this is, I got here, I was Po. We take off the O and the R. I was like, I'm 22. I had 3 jobs. I worked at Red Lobster. I worked at the Caribou until a businessman yelled at me because I didn't make his coffee right. And then I worked at I worked at another TV station, WCCO. So I was still very broke. I had I was eating roasted chicken from a gas station, and my car broke down on the side of 94 in the winter. In the winter, I had a 94 Dodge Neon, and the engine blew up. And I went to this. I had to drive. I went to this house that was a mechanic shop, and this guy had a cigarette in his hand. He goes, well, I can fix it, son. It's going to be about $8,000. And it was, I don't even know. It wasn't 8, but it was something. And I'm like, it's a Neon. I mean, you know what I mean? It's a Dodge Neon. But I didn't have that. It wasn't really $8,000, but I started and I'm walking alone on the side of 94. Didn't know who to call. I didn't have anybody to call. I couldn't. I remember, I'm 44. I still remember that day. And I called my mom when I got home, and I go, I don't know if I'm making the right choice. Because it was pretty early on. So whenever I think of winter car things, I think of 22-year-old Jason crying, walking down I-94 with no friends and no car. It was really bad. Poor Dodge Neon, it died. I never got it fixed. Oh, girl, no. I got it. I rode a bus for 5 years. Anyway, seriously, hey, don't click that dial because we have a great show coming up today. We're really excited. We have Nicole Scherzinger on our show today. And you guys have, and we really appreciate the feedback, you guys have really been loving what we in the office call our single topic shows, where we focus on one thing for the entire show. Drink, right, Jeff? Where we focus on one thing for the entire show. We're doing that today. It's all a celebration of movies. And one of the things you're going to see, a collection of not my favorite, but a collection of interviews that I've done with movie stars over the past 20 years, where you will see me at every age, with every hairstyle and every weight. Yeah, it's like expanding small. And one interview, our executive producer, Jeff, couldn't stop laughing. Shayne, I haven't seen this. He says, I'm wearing pants 12 sizes too big for me. So that's coming up. Right now, though, grab the cup of coffee. Time for the hot dish. Here we go. First up, I love this. I love this show. I think you do too. It's one of the smartest written shows on the planet. The 7th and final season of Veep dropped overnight. The trailer for this, you know, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and it looks as good as ever. Now, before we roll this, you know what's funny about this? They cuss so much that we only have about 7 seconds to show you. Look at this.
Leon, I'm not sure about this part where I say I want to be president for all Americans. I mean, do I? You know, all of them.
How about real Americans?
Oh yeah, that's good. And then we can figure out what I mean later. Really, face to face, I can convince anyone of anything.
That's not true. Incorrect.
You're both wrong.
Well, you're right.
You have the 2nd lowest vaccination rate in the nation, and when I am elected president, you will be number 1. Oh, she likes me.
This entire country is getting more disgusting by the second.
That's a demo we're targeting mostly on Facebook.
So good. If y'all haven't watched Veep, Selena Myers, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is making another in the show. She's making another run for the White House. Veep, by the way, it's been nominated for 50,000 awards, and it really has. I can't even list them all up. And what's interesting about this final season, you guys will remember, we cover this at great length. This final season was delayed because of Julia Louis-Dreyfus battling cancer. So this season, yeah, the season was supposed to come out a little earlier, but she looks fantastic. I mean, she looks great, yeah. Do you watch Veep, Shayne? Isn't it?
Love this show.
You laugh until your stomach hurts.
And it's so easy to digest.
Yes.
Quick, funny episodes. You can like burn through it so fast.
Yeah, and Jason Joe friends, look, if you don't like cuss words and you don't like cut downs, you won't like this. But if you do, they have some of the best insults on television. The way they insult each other,
Yes.
It is fabulous. It is, you know, yeah. You could... The saying on our show, go out there and be yourself, does not apply to them. No, does not. Love it. You can catch up, by the way, if you're like, oh, there's so many. You can catch up on Veep right now on the HBO Now app. Next in the dish, the best of America's Got Talent, the Champions, was crowned last night. Now, before we show you the winner, you know we don't like to ruin shows. It's time for... Spoiler alert. We don't believe in ruining shows unless they're horrible. This competition, if they're horrible and we don't want you to watch it, then we'll ruin it for you. This competition, if you guys don't know, it's the all-star edition of AGT, featuring acts from all over the world. Here is the very dramatic reveal.
The winner of the title, America's Got Talent, the champions, best in the world is Shayne.
Okay, yeah. That's magician Shayne Lim. He won America's Got Talent back in 2018. And this year beat out a 14-year-old ventriloquist. Okay, can we stop with the people with talking puppets? I mean, oh, well, no, oh, great, now I'm going to offend the ventriloquist group. I just mean, why am I backtracking? No, there's enough of them. It seems like a lot of the winners have been people with talking puppets. I want a little variety. I mean,
and isn't this the one you get like your Vegas residency?
I think so.
So
yeah.
I never understand why child acts get anywhere on this show, because you don't want to go watch a 14-year-old ventriloquist in Vegas, right?
No, you want to lose your money at Jackpot Party. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a 7-year-old with, hi, how are you? I mean, you know, I want to. No, I can't do that for an hour and a half. I love the kiddos, but no.
That's our next fish out of water. We're going to send you to ventriloquist training. Email email us if you know a ventriloquist.
You don't. I was going to give you people free stuff, but now I don't clap for that. No, I'll still give you free stuff. Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah. No, but I mean, look, and if the ventriloquist watching, and I see the demos, I'm sure we have some ventriloquist artists watching. Please don't email me. I'm not offending you in your art. This is the world we're living in. I have to defend myself against this. Please don't email me. The producer's going like this so I don't get in more trouble. You guys know this. The NBA All-Star Game was this weekend. Jimmy Fallon had a little fun with one of the All-Stars. He convinced, this is great, Steph Curry to insert key phrases into interviews over the course of the event. Look at this.
The phrases he had to sneak were Energizer Bunny, flippin' pancakes, and wham bam can of ham.
From the time I got here Thursday morning to now, just kind of trying to get as much in as I can. Got to be like the Energizer Buddy, fight this fatigue. Ever since I touched down on the ground Thursday morning, I feel like I've been running crazy. You know, I got to be an Energizer Bunny this weekend. You know, trying to get through it all. We've been having these back and forth competitions since we were kids, since we were flipping pancakes as youngins in Charlotte. From the time I picked up a basketball, I knew like shooting was kind of second nature, like flipping pancakes for me. And then that last one, it just looked good from the time it left her hand, and I was like, wham, bam, can of ham, that's going in.
That is tremendous. I like him a lot. I enjoy him. I follow him on Instagram. He seems like a good guy.
Wasn't sure how he was going to get that last one in.
No, wham, bam, can of ham.
Too, like it's something he says every day.
I know. We should try to throw that in through our show today. Yeah, guys, go grab another cup of coffee. We'll be back right after these words. Stay with us. Wham, bam, can of ham.
Yeah.
Coming up, he ain't messing around anymore. 3 big cuts on The Bachelor. Who went home and who is there for the right reasons? Ted and Shayne break it down.
So tell me, do you wanna go?
Then it's the biggest TV hit of the winter season. Nicole Scherzinger from The Masked Singer is joining us live to talk about what we can expect from the rest of this season. And then, our first annual Jason Show movie extravaganza.
So many movies, so little time. Here's a look at what's new at a theater near you.
We're celebrating the silver screen ahead of the Oscars, including a look back at some of my memorable interviews over my 20 years. Oh my, that's all coming up.
That's great. Y'all can think that we're not ready. I know you can't tell me if I'm ready or if I'm not. You know, I'm the only person who can say that.
And I think like if the tables were reversed, like you would do the same exact thing.
That's not true. I never once threw you under the bus because that's not the type of person I am. If I had an issue with you, I would have come to you first.
Did I have any plans of talking about you? No. Colton asked me a question and I told him my opinion.
I feel like our whole friendship is a lie. And I know what I'm here for. I know that I'm ready. And I can sit here and say that right now. I don't know if you can say the same thing.
If I really like wanted to talk smack about you, I would be talking smack about you every single day.
You're allowed to.
I haven't. No. But the difference is that I haven't because I don't have any need to. This is so stupid.
That's exactly how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Bro, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. The drama cranked up this week on The Bachelor with hometown dates on the line. The women laid it all out as Colton tries to find out who is there for the right reasons. Drink. The 7 remaining women left Southeast Asia and headed to Colton's hometown of Denver, and the stakes could not have been higher. With 3 more women, 3, not 1, not 2, 3 more women sent packing. Here to break it all down is our Bachelor panel of experts, Shayne and producer Ted. Here we go.
Hello.
So it's the cliche, but this week really is, the theme is who is ready not just for a date, but marriage, right?
Yes, because the women who left last week planted a seed in his head that there were women left who weren't there for the right reasons. And were talking as if they weren't there.
They're just there to get Instagram followers.
And to be the Bachelor.
But now they're gone, and so this drama lives on without any of the people who started said drama.
Is this one of the conversations? What are we looking at?
This is Tayshia. She had a one-on-one date where she told him that Miss North Carolina, Kaylin, and Cassie, my girl,
Kind of the 2 front runners, too.
Yeah, are not there for the right reasons.
Okay, so this sometimes, I know enough about this show to know this sometimes backfires on the women. How did this go over with him? He doesn't look pleased.
Because then the problem is it hangs over your whole date.
Yeah.
It's like thinking about these other women, so you don't want to be that person. I mean, as much as you can.
They still made out, so.
Side note, did you see that story that came out about her yesterday?
What?
It's in People magazine, so it's not like a big secret, but she had a boyfriend up until the day she left to film the show. So the question is Tayshia there for the right reason?
No, she's not.
No.
Do you have a boyfriend before ABC puts
The
you up in
day
the hotel?
you
No,
left.
no. Okay, let's go to Kaylin. Now, this is, you just referenced her, Miss North Carolina. What are we looking at here, and what do we need to know?
So he is telling Kaylin what Tayshia told him, and she is stunned by it because she doesn't talk to Tayshia much.
Oh, so she's claiming she is there for the right reason.
Right.
Oh yeah, she's none of it's true.
You know,
blah,
I gotta
blah,
give him
blah.
hat. You know, he looks good in a winter hat. Not everyone can rock. I'm just looking at he looks good in that winter hat.
That's a sidetrack.
Yeah, just a side little note. He looks good.
Yeah.
So this went over well. He bought her explanation.
Oh yeah, but you know he has real feelings for Kaylin, so I don't know if anything was really going to shake that.
Yeah, to that point.
From one beauty queen to another, we're going to Miss Alabama, Hannah B. So she is laying it on the line, did she not?
Yeah, this was interesting because he took her on a one-on-one. She actually got to go meet his parents.
This is it right here?
A huge deal. Normally only your top 3 or 2 get to meet the parents. And then here's the thing. He dumped her after this.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
sent her home.
She is the only one to meet his family, and then a couple hours later, he's like, eh.
Really? Is that his mom with the peekaboo shoulders? Look at that. She looks young. Well, he's not that old. I mean,
no, yeah, his parents both look young.
Yeah,
it makes me feel a little old sometimes.
Who's his dad in that picture? Is it the guy in the camel t-shirt?
He has like a kind of a shaved head.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
He looks like his brother.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I'm not going to focus on that. Anyway, okay, group date. How did this go? These don't always go well.
It didn't.
No, and one person, the never been kissed girl, voluntarily left.
Oh, she the one? Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, if you guys missed it, there's a girl on the show that claims that she has never been kissed at all.
Well, now she has.
And now she has. Okay.
Now she has. But yeah,
And
she left.
She wants to kiss more boys, apparently.
And she does not want to kiss Colton.
Yeah. And so here we have Kirpa versus Cassie.
This is Kirpa and Cassie?
Yeah, Cassie's, I would call
sounds
like
a skin
the front
condition.
runner.
Yeah. Suffering from the Kirpa and Cassie.
And Kirpa is backing Tayshia, saying that Cassie is not there for the right reasons.
It's kind of a whole big mess. It really is. And the girl who started this all, Ted and I don't even know who she is. Her name's Katie.
Katie?
Well, she's the one that planted the seed. So this whole thing is over something Katie said that no one can verify.
I heard today, and Ted, you and I were talking about this, or Shayne too. Is he? We think he's the most dumped bachelor in history. Like women that have left the show voluntarily.
Every week we get someone who is leaving.
It is rare that people send themselves home.
Is that
He's
a good
had
sign?
a lot. No.
Okay, just wondering. Yeah, give it up for Shayne and Ted, everybody. The Bachelor. Monday nights on another network. Still ahead. It's all about the movies. Some of my most favorite and least favorite interviews with Hollywood's biggest stars, and a few embarrassing moments. But next, we'll run down some of the biggest Oscar surprises of the last 30 years, including this one. Oh, this movie that beat out a classic. Oscar snubs and surprises when we come back. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're taking on a movie theme today with the Oscars coming up on Sunday. Ooh, that's going to be a show, let me tell you. We wanted to take a look at some of the biggest Oscar shockers over the last few decades. Now, these are the ones that I get upset over, you get upset over, have appeared on lists like the biggest, what are you doing Oscars over the past 50 or so years. First up, this one I still can't believe. Let's go back to 1982. The Best Picture nominees included classic movies like Tootsie and E.T., but neither of those won. Instead, the Oscar for Best Picture went to Gandhi. The movie stars Ben Kingsley and followed, the audience groaned at that one, and followed the leader of India's non-violent independence movement against the UK. Now look, Ben Kingsley did a great job. Gandhi is a good movie, but has it stood the test of time? No. And not that viewing should be a referendum on a movie, but has anybody in your life over the past 10 years said, Jim, come over and watch Gandhi with me? No. But they have said, let's go watch E.T. And Tootsie arguably is one of the best comedies of all time. It really should have went to either of those. I hate it. I can't believe. Let's move now to 1994. Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece, Pulp Fiction, was up for Best Picture alongside a TNT mainstay. Yeah, literally, if you turn on TNT right now, it's on. The Shawshank Redemption was up that year, but the award went to Forrest Gump instead. That movie starred Tom Hanks, who also won Best Actor. Now, what's interesting is a lot of you watching right now are probably with me. Y'all don't mind this one. I don't. I know it's fashionable for shishi-poo-poo movie critics to hate on this movie. I think it's one of Robert Zemeckis' favorites. I personally don't have a problem with this winning Best Picture. ... Pulp Fiction, though, changed the trajectory of movie making. And whether you like it or not, it should have probably have won, but I still love Forrest. Let's move 4 years later to 1998. One film seemed to be a shoo-in that year for Best Picture. This one also starred Tom Hanks, Saving Private Ryan. Everybody thought was going to win it. But that night, Oscar night, the Academy felt differently, giving Best Picture nod to this picture, Shakespeare in Love. Aaron, don't you clap for this. Gwyneth Paltrow won Best Actress, and Judi Dench won for Best Supporting Actress. This movie is always linked to Pervy Grossman Harvey Weinstein. This was his movie. It was his production company. And the story around Hollywood said that he really pushed and possibly paid a lot of people for this movie to win, because really Saving Private Ryan should have won that year. Let's move to 1995. Brokeback Mountain appeared to be in position to take home Best Picture, but it did not. But the award went to Crash, starring Sandra Bullock, Don Cheadle, and Matt Dillon. This is another one where people go, Crash? It's a good movie. Was it the best that year? Absolutely not. It should not have won that year. And this is always listed on various websites when they talk about the biggest surprises of all time. Finally, let's move to an acting category shock of like, really? In 1993, the winner for Best Supporting Actress was a stunner. Marissa Tomei won for My Cousin Vinny, up against, and that year she went up against some Hollywood heavyweights who really should have taken home the gold that night. But sadly, karma kind of came back around, because Marissa Tomei is really one of the first people credited with the Oscar curse. Once she won the Oscar, she had a real hard time the next few years. So there we go, our list of Oscar snubs and surprises. I'm sure you will have an opinion about some of those. Still ahead, some of my favorite and least favorite interviews with Hollywood A-listers over my 20 years on television. And there is a story about this interview right here. But next, it's one of the hottest shows of the year. We're going to take a break from movies for just a second to talk to one of the judges on the hot show, The Masked Singer. We'll be right back with Nicole Scherzinger. Welcome back, everybody. That is the Peacock, who stars in arguably one of the hottest shows of the year. The Masked Singer has everyone guessing who is behind the mask. We're taking a break from our movie theme for just a little bit to talk about one of the hottest shows on television. Now, before we get to our guest, I gotta say, everybody in our audience here and the crew, I don't want to ruin this for anybody, but come on, if you listen to that Peacock for more than 15 seconds, y'all know who it is. Just say, come on. Think about it let me give you a few hits. Joseph, Technicolor, Dreamcoat, Marie, Big Family, Teeth, Vegas, Marie. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, wait. A little bit blank, a little bit rock and roll. There we go. So see, you can't email me and say that I've ruined it for you. I've just given you clues, everybody. I'm still wondering I'm still wondering if Gladys Knight is one of the animals. I don't know. And I'm also curious who they're going to get next year. This show is so big, mark my word. And I've said this before, but if you missed the episode, our buddy Nick Cannon, who's the host of the show, was sitting right here on this couch. And he said, you would not, he goes, I promise you, in the commercial break, I go, how good is the talent really? And he whispered to me, he said, you will not believe the level of talent I've gotten for the show. And he said, and if it's a hit, season 2 is even going to be better. So stay tuned for the finale. And then season 2, it's been renewed on Fox. Well, we're having some technical difficulties getting Nicole Scherzinger, so we hope to get her maybe tomorrow. The Masked Singer, you can watch on Fox. Still ahead, though, on our movie extravaganza, we're running down some of my most memorable interviews. Oh, this one right here. I have a story about all these interviews you're going to see today. What actor really creeped out Shayne? You're also going to find that out. Our Jason Show movie extravaganza starts right after this. Back in a moment, everybody.
Does fame drive you crazy? All the trappings that come with, you know, the Access Hollywood and the Star magazines. Does that all drive you nuts, or are you pretty good at removing yourself from all of that stuff that comes with fame?
The truth is this, that there are many people in life that are dealing with things phenomenally more complex than what I have to deal with fame. And the human nature is to adapt to their environment and adapt to their circumstances. And I've been in this business for a while now, and you get used to it like anything else in the world. And truly it's not the worst life to lead. There are phenomenally, worse problems out there. So anytime I hear myself complaining about it, or the paparazzi are a nuisance and all that, but at the end of the day, I'm a blessed person, and I'm thankful for what I have.
And we thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Yes. Look, okay, can we not freeze frame? I look like Eddie Munster up in there with my hairline, and what was I wearing? Anyway, I wasn't eating back then either. Welcome back, everybody. That's a clip from my interview with Leonardo DiCaprio way back in 2004 when he was promoting his movie, The Aviator. Funny story. Well, anyway, welcome back. We're doing a whole show, by the way, dedicated to the movies as we get ready. Yeah, as we get ready for the Oscars. I will tell you, and you know me, people always love behind-the-scenes stories. The story with that interview is, people ask all the time, I do a Q&A with our studio audience, or if I see you guys out at Target or whatever, people always ask. A common question is, who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite interview, or have you interviewed this person? People have asked me many times over the years if I've interviewed Leonardo DiCaprio. I always say no. I forgot about that interview because over 20 years, you forget who you talk to. Well, I got to tell you, we dug through the archives big time. Our executive producer, Jeff, has spent a lot of time in archives lately, finding the most memorable interviews with stars over the past 20 years. It's a chance to reminisce and poke a little fun at all my hairstyles, weights, clothes. We'll get to all of that. First up, we board the Wayback Machine to 2002 when the Eden Prairie Center reopened after a huge remodel. Now, why am I mentioning Eden Prairie Center in the setup to this interview? Well, the mall had a brand new theater and celebrated by bringing in Dee Wallace Stone. And if you're like, who's that? Well, she's the actress who played, now don't roll this yet, Leo. She's the actress who played Elliot's mom in E.T. This is the interview where Jeff, our executive producer, said, I was wearing pants like 14 sizes too big for me. So I have not seen this in 17 years. Let's look at this.
Just when he thought movies couldn't get any more fun or technical, comes this. The new AMC Theater is the crown jewel of the brand new remodeled Eden Prairie Center. We're going to be talking to Dee Wallace Stone, the mother from E.T. Come on.
So my first question I have to ask, every time Drew Barrymore is interviewed, she says that she felt like E.T. was real as a 7-year-old. Now, did you feel that as, one of the adults in the cast?
Actually, yeah. Because we never saw the hydraulics, we never saw the wires, we never saw the men that were running ET. That was all behind a scrim off stage.
Why did they let me on television? What was I wearing? That I looked like I was going to bingo. And those pants, those pants, they were like, what were they? Like Sears Husky, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it was horrible. My hair, I look like a little Dutch boy. Anyway, I look like I should be on the paint bottle or the paint bucket, yeah. Oh, to my bosses back then, thank you for keeping me on TV. I had no right. Okay, let's stay in 2002. Oh, great. I got a chance, this one. I got a chance to interview Britney Spears in person. In person. Now, this was, I got to tell you, this was my first, they call it a junket, where you go, you see the movie in like LA or whatever. This was in New Orleans. This was my first time at a big movie junket, so I was very excited. You're going to watch this, and then wait till you hear, I'll tell you on this side, what happens moments after the camera stopped rolling. Look at this.
How involved were you in Crossroads, the production, and did you enjoy that?
That was the best thing about the movie, is how creative I got to be with it, as far as the casting, as far as the clothes, as far as the music, everything. It was like my project, you know? So that's why it was so appealing to me, instead of just doing a script that was given to me, you know?
How quickly did you click with the cast?
Immediately. I knew right when Taryn walked in, I was like, this is the girl.
Okay. So the camera stopped rolling right after that interview, and I really liked Britney at the time. I enjoyed her. I was nervous. And when you talk to these stars, you're sitting on director's chairs, not the most sturdy of chairs. And I was so nervous, and there's audio people all around you. It's a small hotel room. And the audio guy went to take off my mic, and I moved a little bit, and I flipped backwards in my director chair, and I was on the floor. I was on the floor like a turtle, and Britney hovered over me, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I looked at her and go, "I'm fine." And then she left the room, and like the crew had to pick me up. It was horrible, horrible. So embarrassing, yeah. She cared about me for like a second. She's like, "You okay? Bye." Yeah. One more from 2002, and this is interesting. I interviewed J-Lo, I interviewed Jennifer Lopez about her new movie, Enough, okay? And I noticed she kept staring at her wedding ring from then-husband, Chris Judd. I asked her about it and also what else she was getting ready to work on. Listen closely, because it all ties together.
During our interview, I noticed Jen kept looking down at her wedding ring. And who wouldn't? That thing's big enough to hock and feed a small European village.
You said, look at your rings. No, it's just a habit, like a nerd. Actually, I'm doing a romantic comedy that'll be out at Christmas time. And then after that, I have a movie with Ben Affleck coming out called Gigli.
We bet you do. That's right. That led to Jenny from the Block, which then led to them hooking up, which then led to them breaking up. Yeah. Gigli's a horrible movie, if she only knew. And really quick, we got to go. Isn't it amazing you look at that? Jen looks better now than she did in 2002. Seriously, she looks fantastic. Well, we're not done digging up my big pants past after the break. Two of the funniest moments ever involving my interviews with the late Robin Williams and Jake Gyllenhaal. Plus what I consider one of my worst interviews and moments on television ever. What is it? You'll find out when our movie extravaganza comes back. Welcome back, everybody. We are celebrating the movies today. The silver screen. We're doing this ahead of the Academy Awards on Sunday. Well, I've been lucky enough, really, I do, as we laugh, and I do, look, when I'm 80 years old in Sunset Acres with my buddy Jeff, and we're eating our cottage cheese, I will be an old man with no regrets, because I've been very lucky to kind of live out my dream, and you're watching kind of the succession of it. And I've been lucky enough through this career to interview almost every star in Hollywood. And I'm sharing some of my most memorable and some of my most embarrassing interviews as we celebrate the movies. This next one comes from 2009 when I traveled to Washington, D.C. for another one of those junkets I told you about for the premiere of Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian. Now, I'm going to show you this clip with Owen Wilson and the late Robin Williams. They were paired together. And just watch this, and when we come back from it, I will tell you how I basically said nothing in that 4 minutes. Look at this.
You know why? Because there's Canadians. There's heavily armed and they won't shoot you. They'll just wander around and they ask you, how do you like Canada? And they mean it. They mean
I saw some folks with guns out here, though.
I didn't get a Canadian
to say, I'm sorry. Step on their foot.
Step on their foot. Sorry. Sorry, eh? Sorry. Well, I believe like Canada's like an apartment over a meth lab going, keep it down, eh? Keep it down, eh? Come on now. You don't have to. Come on now. You just shaved your cat. Keep it down.
Apartment over a meth
Shaved cat. Now there's a visual.
Yeah.
A shaved kitty.
Shaved kitty, which is a wonderful cleaned up metaphor. Did you shave the kitty?
That was the name of a band.
Yeah, that was
Shaved Kitty. That would be a great name for a band.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shaved Kitty.
It was an all-girl band.
An all-girl band.
You became the singer.
I was the lead singer for Shaved Kitty. Sounds like an Irish girl band. Please welcome Shaved Kitty.
What was great, you know, when I talk about that interview, it was, again, I feel really lucky that I got to talk to Robin. What's funny about it, and you hear everybody that has ever interviewed Robin, from Oprah to, I don't know, Sally Jesse. When you interviewed Robin, you really didn't prepare because you didn't say anything. And that was the case here. I walked in, and, you know, when you walk into these rooms to do an interview, the coordinator goes, okay, it's Jason from Minneapolis. And when I said that, or when the coordinator said that, Robin goes, Jason from Minneapolis. And he stood up, and he did this whole riff on Prince for about 4 minutes. My time was basically over, and they gave me more time, but I didn't say anything. It was crazy. Okay, we're moving now. We're going to go back a little bit to 2004. I was interviewing, this is probably one of my favorite moments here at Fox 9. I was interviewing Jake Gyllenhaal, okay, about his new movie, The Day After Tomorrow. But when the interview was getting started, now follow along here, he wasn't, okay, so, you know, I'm wearing an earpiece, Jake's wearing an earpiece. They had put in not the sound of me, but they put in the sound of the Maury Povich show. Watch.
Jake, can you hear me?
Hi, Jason.
Good morning, Jake. How are you?
What is this, Maury Povich?
Okay, to help you understand what's going on right now, Jake isn't hearing me in his ear like he's supposed to. He is hearing the Maury Povich
He's hearing
show.
our programming, isn't
Take
he?
a listen.
Yeah, is that what it is? Is he interrupting us?
Jake, can you hear me?
Jason?
Jake?
Maury?
Jake?
Povich? Jason?
Jake?
Hi.
You can hear me.
I can hear you.
We had a little bit of technical difficulties. Were you stuck listening to our programming?
I was hearing about some prostitute and her daughter or something.
Oh, the quality programs on Fox.
I was into it. I have to say.
Yeah, I like your little, good morning, Minneapolis. We saw that.
Good morning, Minneapolis.
That was great. Well,
Yeah.
good. How are you, my friend?
I'm feeling great.
Good.
This morning, yeah.
Well, yeah, even with
How are you?
I'm doing, you know, it's Friday. How can you complain?
It's true. Good morning, Minneapolis.
Good morning.
He was such a good guy, and every time I interviewed him over the subsequent years, I always brought that up, and he remembered it. Like, look, whenever Star goes, oh yeah, I remember you, they're usually just pulling your leg. He actually remembered it because every time I would bring that up, I go, you know, we were doing this interview, and they put in a talk show. He goes, Maury! They put Maury in my ear, and yeah, so I put him and Daniel Radcliffe kind of in the same category. And Ewan McGregor, three of the nicest guys. They're as nice as you want them to be. Yeah, and I've interviewed each of them more than a few times. So, and yes, I know what you're thinking right now. Either you were staring at how good-looking Jake was, or you were staring at the fact that I had orange hair and a faux hawk. And I get it. Yeah, I know. I love that faux hawk, though. I rocked that for a long time, and I don't know what I was thinking dyeing my hair. I really do not know. So those are a few of my favorite interviews. Now on to the worst. Back in 2002, I was interviewing Minnesota guy Josh Hartnett. about his movie 40 Days and 40 Nights. I asked the innocent question, where does Josh like to hang out when he comes back to Minnesota? Or what does he like to do? Here's the very little of what he said.
I'm, kind of, actually, it doesn't really matter where the places are. It's just kind of, wherever my friends happen to be. And we kind of end up in different parts of town all the time. But I live in Minneapolis, so Minneapolis mostly, yeah.
We went back and counted. That was the roughest celebrity interview I've ever done. He has since, like, he's the nicest guy, but we counted. He said about 110 words in that entire interview. It was awful. After the break, but he's a nice guy. After the break, 2 of Shayne's most memorable celebrity interviews, and she has quite the story to tell when we come back. Back after this. You're having fun looking at all the hairstyles and clothes and weight
the transformations.
I know it's tragic. Shayne joins me again. We are celebrating the movies today, looking back at some of our favorite interviews. Shayne, most of you don't know, had a second life before she ever joined us. You interviewed stars just like I did at another TV station. So take it away. What do we have?
I think we're going to start with my best celebrity encounter.
Okay.
And that was Tom Hanks.
Oh, look at this.
Okay, first of all, I have to tell you, and you know this, when you go to junkets, you walk in, you sit down, they start the timer, it's all very like by the clock. He got up, walked over to me, introduced himself, walked me to my seat, walked me out of the interview afterward, and he seemed like he was truly like honored that I was there or that we were there to interview him. And it was for Larry Crown, which is, he'd been in the business
a long time.
And he still like was so respectful, and no one else was like that. So it touched me. I was like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah, because Shayne's right. It's usually so rat-a-tat-tat, and they don't care. They taking a sip of Diet Coke between interviews. So the fact that he wanted to know your name, that proves he's a good guy.
He was such a good guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you, because I can't handle a world where Tom Hanks is not a good guy.
Exactly. And they don't always give you pictures either. So the fact that you got a picture, they usually go, no, but he's such a good guy. Okay.
I read the signs. I was like, he'll take one.
Okay, I'm very excited. We're going to go to your worst now.
Okay, guys. This was for the junket for the movie Immortals.
Okay. I don't even remember that. Yeah.
It's all right. It's not that memorable. My interview was with Mickey Rourke. First of all, he looked like he spent the night in an alley face down and then rolled into the interview. I'm not trying to be mean. He was greasy. He had the sunglasses on. And I started my interview and I said, right off the bat, he's a really creepy villain. This is probably my face when he does it. I said, you are one of the creepiest villains I've ever seen. And he just looked me in the eye and said, can I rub your feet?
What?
And I was so off guard. I said, no, why would you want to rub my feet? And I mean, the whole interview was like this. In fact, when the interview was over, the bell rings or whatever, and the people started to stand up, the crew, and he said, sit down, we're going to keep going. And I'm like, I don't want to keep going. Like, let me out of this room.
Because you were afraid Murphy Purvey was going to jump up and start rubbing your feet.
He was eyeing them.
He was what?
I mean, he was looking at them. They weren't out either, but it's like he was like imagining like.
He was looking at your feet?
Yeah, it's just
Oh, he must have like a little foot fetish or something.
You gotta keep that inside. You don't let that out to the world.
Well, especially to a stranger who's there to interview you for a crappy movie.
Scared the crap out of me.
I don't need to know about your foot preference. Yeah. Well, in honor of our movie show today, our studio audience is going home with a prize. You're all going to get free passes to the upcoming movie 5 Feet Apart. It's based on the popular book about 2 teens with cystic fibrosis who fall in love. You are also getting the book. And by the way, the movie comes out on March 15th. So thanks to the studio for that. Well, this has been a hoot and a holler, hasn't it? Yeah.
Sure has.
Yeah, I know Shayne's in there eating popcorn, watching all the clips of me. Yeah. Tomorrow on the show, the local couple who just landed a new series on HGTV joins us to talk about the show and their appearance at the Home and Garden Show this weekend. Plus a trip to one of the busiest new restaurants in the Metro, the Copper Cow. That's tomorrow. But right now, that's going to do it for us today. If you're a kid watching that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.